Hi, thanks for joining us for the Daily Record in Conversation. I'm Scott Burns, and I'm joined today by Anthony Evans. Anthony, you well?
I'm very good, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, and even better with the fact we're joined by our star guest today in Conversation. We are out with the Watford and former Aberdeen defender, Mattie Pollock. Mattie, brilliant to see you. How are you?
Hi, all good, and good to be on the conversation.
Good. How's how's things going at Watford for you this season?
Yeah, it's I just said I've had a bit of a different year. I've pulled my hammy in pre-season and then had a little niggle with it a couple of weeks back. So I'm fully back now. Played at the weekend and back in fully now. But it's been a little bit different. A few changes off the pitch. Like I said, I had a little one. So putting it down to him coming and having lack of sleep. And when I get home now, I can't rest. My day only starts. So yeah, it's a little bit different now. But yeah, I wouldn't change it. So.
And just looking at where the league table is as well, you're only 3 points off the playoffs. We know how competitive the championship is, but that's got to be a real goal for the remaining games of the season. Yeah,
100%. You know, no hiding. Watford's a club that, you know, should be at the top end of this table. You know, we're in it. We've got a chance. And, you know, I think as well as there's no embarrassment saying our form of recent hasn't probably been what we want. So the fact we're still around it and we know we can go up another gear and kick on is massive and a real confidence boost.
In Mattie, obviously, when you were looking to establish yourself at Watford when you left, came back down from Aberdeen, you've done that. I mean, you spoke about the 2 injuries, but you played a lot of football, even though you've been out with those 2 spells. 26.
Yeah.
You played a lot of football, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've played. I'm just short now of my 100th game for Watford, so that's obviously my next target I'm aiming for. And I've played a lot of football over the last couple of years. Like I say, Aberdeen really kicked it off for us. You know, I wasn't really playing until I went up to Aberdeen, and they gave me the platform to kick on and show people what I could do. And luckily, I've come back, and I think going up to Aberdeen probably made Watford look at me in a little bit of a different light. Of my time up there went well, and luckily, like I said, I've come back and I continued my momentum and played, and I haven't really looked back since.
Yeah. And that was nearly over 3 years ago now. So I guess you just got such special memories of that. It was only because it was only a few months, but I guess so much happened in that short space of time as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, it was a real life-changing moment for me, to be honest. I'll be honest, I wasn't really that keen on coming up to Scotland. And believe it or not, I was actually meant to be going to Hibs and changed on my way up to Hibs. So, it was a little bit of a crazy situation that happened. And, you know, like I said, I wouldn't change it now for anything. It was one of my best times in football. It was, I have nothing but great memories.
Mm-hmm. Mattie, going back to that, I mean, what happened? Because obviously you said you were going to Hibs. What changed that you went to Aberdeen? And if I remember correctly, who was it that brought you up? Was a deal already in place under Jim Goodwin? And then obviously Jim left. And then Barry took out the charge. Fill in the blanks for us there.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a crazy time. I was actually meant to sign for another team in England. Went down, done my medical and everything, and got a phone call to say that I need to come back to Watford because at the time I think Watford were trying to sign Ryan Porteous, and there was an injury crisis or something, so I come back. And then Aberdeen were playing Hibs at the weekend, and we actually had Middlesbrough. And like I said, I had all my stuff in another team in England. And then anyway, Watford wanted me to go Hibs so Porteous could come for the weekend. And then stuff kind of happened, never really happened. And then, I went up to Middlesbrough with thinking I played for Watford against Middlesbrough, which is obviously my hometown. So took my stuff up and I was on my way up the next day after the Middlesbrough game up to Hibs, and my agent just rang me on the way and just said I'd already spoke to both managers and nothing really kind of come from Aberdeen at the point. And then obviously I think Hibs actually beat Aberdeen 5-1 or something, or 5-0. Yeah, so it was and I seen obviously the manager had left, and I was a bit like, oh no, but Barry rang us and just said like, look, we really want you, we want you to come. And to be honest, it was more, I just felt more appreciated. You know, when I spoke to Hibs at the time, it wasn't nothing against them, but I just felt like I was going to help somebody else coming to Watford. And I spoke to Aberdeen, and I don't know, something just made me feel a bit more special. My agent actually looks after Scott McKenna, and he had nothing but good words to say what Scott had said. And I just fancied it, to be honest. I really did. And I just kept on driving. I got up to Edinburgh and just kept on driving. And probably the best decision I've ever made. So it was a bit of a mad one. And it's like I say, it was a bit of a mad moment, but I think people who know me as a player, I'm not shy to have a challenge, and definitely thought it would be something that I would be up for, and buzzing. It was class. Loved every minute of it.
And I think it was only within a couple of days when you got thrown straight in for your debut. I think it was the St Mirren. I think Aberdeen got beat by it, but again, just to get straight into action, and then more or less you played every minute till the end of that season. Yeah,
no, 100%. I got through in. Remember at St Mirren, and I think Ross got sent off. I think 2 minutes in or something, and I hadn't played for ages, and I remember thinking, oh God, down to 10, and I haven't played. I was thinking, oh, what's going on? But it was clash. I think straight away I always say this now to a couple of young lads here, is you just felt the size of the club from the minute you stepped out the tunnel. Like it was huge. Probably at that point in my career, the biggest club I've ever played for, and it was like another learning curve dealing with the pressures of the club. And like I say, everybody knows us who's watched us. I'm a little bit of an old-fashioned player, and once you cross that white line, you're carrying the weight of the badge. And I definitely felt that at Aberdeen, and I think that's what kind of pushed me on to really try my hardest and try and put the best performances I could, because I knew it was, we had a good squad, and as soon as the manager got the potential, I knew it was going to be if I come out the team and get back in. So I just had to make sure I give 100% every game, and luckily, like I say, it went really well for us.
Matt, you said you obviously came up, you were driving via Edinburgh, you kept driving. You spoke about that Hibs result where they lost 6-0. I mean, there was 3 bad results in the bounce there. They'd lost at Darvel in the Scottish Cup, and they lost 5-0 to Hearts. What were you thinking as a defender at that point?
To be honest, it was a bit of a mad one. I was just dying to play football, and like I say, nothing on Hibs at the time, but I'd spoke to the manager, and I didn't really get the feel that they wanted me. It was more the needed, like they needed a defender. Do you know what I mean? And when I spoke to Aberdeen, it was, I'd spoke to the man, obviously Barry had then spoke to there was a lady at the club called Emma who rang us and was so supportive of everything, and it just made my decision for me, to be honest. And sometimes you can always go for an easy route, but that's not me. I'll back myself for anything. And the feeling and the support I kind of got at the time was massive. And I just thought, I want to come play for Aberdeen. I'd had a little look on YouTube and stuff like that, and I'd seen the size of the club and looked at the stadium, the training ground, everything. And I seen the players, and I thought, I want to have a go. I want to give myself a real challenge. And like I say, that's kind of what made me decision. Just the welcoming feeling, and the size of the club really attracted me to it.
And then you flash forward a few weeks, you ended up winning 7 in a row. I mean, what was that like? The dressing room just must have been absolutely, bouncing at that time.
Yeah, it was carnage. There was a load of characters in there from everywhere, and it was, I have no embarrassment. I was the best change room I've ever been in. They had so much experience. You had young lads that would do anything, and it was incredible. On the pitch, I think it showed we were a real tight knit group, and like I say, I think when stuff went bad, we were the type of group to get round each other and proper kick on, and we showed that. Obviously, I missed the game where they got beat, but the feeling I got when we first come in was, right, are we going to put this right? No, we've lost. Do you know what I mean? So it was a real good change room to come in. Again, biggest learning curve I've probably had, learning off them type of people and players. And the change room was class. Yeah, incredible change room.
What was it like playing under Barry Robson? Because he's an experienced player. Obviously know him from his time at Borough up here. He'd been at Aberdeen a long time in the background, but he came in and he really hit the ground running as a manager and in an interim position at that point.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I can't speak of highly enough of Barry. I thought he was brilliant. His ideas were great. The way he had the team going, and his staff as well. He had Steve Agnew, obviously, who I knew from back home in Middlesbrough. So I don't know if it was for me or what, but I think he got the best out of the group. He was really aggressive with everything, not just. It was everything. Whether you're passing it 5 yards or you're passing it 50, it doesn't matter. You do it right, type of thing. And I couldn't speak highly enough. He got the group together so well. He had us playing the right way. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his ideas were class, like I say, and he really showed what he got out of us.
And one of the big characters in that group, of course, we've got to speak about Angus MacDonald. Why did you two just hit it off so quickly?
Do you know what it was? I remember looking at him about 10 minutes into the first game, and Ross had just been sent off, and I can't remember the big strike we were marking. Curtis Main, I think. Is it Curtis?
Yeah. He scored a couple
of goals. Big forward, and I remember, obviously I've come from League Two, so I'm used to a couple of battles, but I remember, I think I'd got him in, quite a big tackle, and he just bounced up, and I thought, I looked at Angus and I thought, like, oh, this is going to be a bit heavy, this. So I remember just saying to each other, like, right, let's just keep trying to nail each other, like, type thing, get round each other and put up. And that was it, really. You know, we like I say, I think we both come in at a time where the club needed a bit of stabilising type of thing with the results on the pitch. And, you know, the first game we showed we had bits, and then obviously, like I say, after that, we just kind of formed that connection to push on. You know, I think we had no option to get round each other and make sure, like I say, we could be not the driving force, but make sure we could be like the heart of the team and make sure we stopped conceding, and we knew there was enough quality up front to go and score.
I think you were about 21 at the time, Matty. He was like,
yeah.
He used to obviously go for coffee and different things with Angus as well. Was he like a big brother at that point, was he?
Aye, big brother, yeah. No, there was a few of the lads, but yeah, Angus really took me under his arms. And yeah, look, I can't speak highly enough of Angus. He's a great lad, great defender as well, by the way. But yeah, he, you know, as a young lad, you think you know stuff, but he kept me going. He gave me different ideas, different ways to defend. And yeah, like I say, he was a real leader. But you know, I think we were both leaders in different ways, and there was ways I could help him, and there was ways he helped me. And I think, yeah, he showed that he probably looked after us, and a lot of our success, I would say, was down to him and being the character he was and bringing everybody together as well.
And you managed to score a couple of goals up here when you were playing for Aberdeen as well. I remember against Hearts where you'd scored. I think remember in the interviews after the game, you dedicated it to a family member. I think who'd passed. It'd been a difficult week for you, but I remember you scoring a cracking header in that game.
I had scored, and I got the assist as well for Duke's goal. That was one of my best games. I'd missed my auntie's funeral to play the game, so it was a little bit of a tough time. Obviously, you get these in life, so I just wanted to go out there and, you know, again, just have the best game I could. And yeah, luckily it was a special moment. I scored, and my brother actually scored as well. So yeah, it was a good weekend for us. And yeah, obviously, like I say, dedicated it to me auntie. And yeah, it was a really proud moment. One of the proudest I've had in football.
Yeah, obviously, we speak about that 7-game run, Matty. You know what I mean? The last one of that was a 2-0 win at home against Rangers. That was a one that meant a lot to the Aberdeen fans with the rivalry. But what do you remember from that night?
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I remember, yeah, we just went into the game knowing that we had to win. We had to keep momentum. And yeah, obviously, we're not daft. We know the rivalry. And yeah, it was a great result. We needed it. And yeah, obviously 2-0. I remember the goals. I remember the game. To be fair, it was a close game, but yeah, on the day we just had enough. And again, I remember the atmosphere being incredible and pushed us over the line. And like I say, it was nice to feel a victory in that type of game with that much meaning to the fans. And yeah, like I've touched on already, them games are for me my favourite games. And yeah, there's a few nice tackles, a few big blocks and that. And yeah, I loved every second of it.
But in that game, that goal that Liam Scales scored, was he claiming to everyone that was a shot? Because I remember it was kind of the angle, like he was looking for a cross at the back post and it just flew in the top corner.
Yeah, he claimed it, but there was absolutely no chance he meant it. But yeah, no, Scales, he's a great lad. So if anybody asks me, I do normally say he meant it, but there was not a chance in this world he meant it.
You're talking about Scalesy there, but I mean, obviously he was a similar boat to yourself. He was on loan from Celtic, wasn't really playing for Celtic. He went back, and obviously he's kicked on at Celtic as well. I mean, he's made a real impact there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done really well. I still speak to a lot of the lads now. Like I say, we were really close. So Scalesy, he's brilliant, great player, left footer. He's, you know, you can't ask for much more. And again, obviously, for what people don't see in the changing room, he's huge. Do you know what I mean? I had no doubt he'd go back to Celtic and kick on and do what he's done. You know, he's a great player, and probably doesn't take enough credit for what he does. And yeah, like I say, proud of him. To be honest, he's gone on, he's kicked on, and you know, Celtic's a big club, and he's playing every minute. So yeah, again, I think it shows as well just how well Aberdeen actually is and manage players who go up there. Because, you know, like I say, for me, it changed my career, really. I have no doubt in saying that. And for Scalesy, probably the same. Do you know what I mean? He's now playing at a big club, and yeah, that's what the aim is. Do you know what I mean? Is to play as high as you can for as long as you can. So yeah, it just shows, and it's a real, I guess, a credit to Aberdeen for what they actually do for players who go up there.
And that season ultimately culminated with that game, the St Mirren game at Pittodrie, where you managed to clinch through. Just describe your feelings going into the game and then the scenes after as well. Yeah,
obviously, I think I can actually remember we went into the game a little bit frustrated because if you remember the game before, we'd lost to Hearts, I think it was. So we actually went into the game a little bit frustrated, but we knew how to do the job. You know, again, because it was such a good change room, there wasn't really I don't think there was a fear or a doubt. We just needed to do what we had to do, and like I say, we all made sure we put the shift in, and for not just the manager, for everyone at the club. Like I say, it wasn't just the players going with the players. I remember sometimes getting a text off your missus saying when you're home, so I'd be sat in the physio room with all the staff just doing quizzes and all sorts. Like it was, or I'm going for a coffee with the lads and stuff. It was, it was just like honestly one of the best places ever. So yeah, we all knew what we had to do for the club, for the fans, and like I say, for everybody involved. And like I say, we did it. The emotion after was class. Sung a few songs I enjoyed. And other than that, it was good. It was, like I say, brilliant. And
did you not go back out for a selfie after the game with the red shed?
Was
you and Angus? Was it?
Yeah, the selfie. Yeah, but me and Ross went over and seen the fans after as like I say, it was a little send off. So that was a good moment.
Just on that one, I mean, do you almost think it's? I would say it was quite underappreciated that you managed to win. You look at the points deficit to where Hearts were before you came in, and the fact you managed to overtake them and get third place. I mean, that must be something you're really proud of as well.
Oh, 100%. When I went in, I think we were actually in the relegation 6, not the the top 6. So for us, first of all, was just to get in the top 6 and then kick on. We knew the quality of the squad, and like I said, we went in there, we hit the ground running, and yeah, for the position Hearts were in to kind of overtake them was a mega achievement. And I think sometimes people forget probably how far behind of them we actually were. So the real character, mental strength that we've shown as a team is, I think it's a real. Well, I just think it's underrated. I think people don't realise what we actually did at that moment to get where we did. And like I say, it was class, great achievement, and some of that will live with me forever.
What did the chairman say to you after that, the qualification? He's a big Aberdeen fan.
He's buzzing. I mean, I've spoken to him a few times since I've left. I have nothing but respect for him. He's an unbelievable guy, and he's the love he has for Aberdeen's incredible, and I do think he shows that. So yeah, he was over the moon. He looked after me from minute one. So he like I say, I think he was just as emotional and happy as all of us that we'd qualified for the Europa League.
I think a big question that I'd like to know as well, but the fans would maybe as well. Was there ever any chance that beyond that loan that you'd be staying at Aberdeen permanently, or another loan? Did that ever come about?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I come back here, and I didn't actually play the first 6 months here. Had a bit of a sticky 6 months. Wasn't really playing in pre-season. Again, wasn't really getting me chance. And I tried to go back at the start of the season. It never kind of happened. And then in January, I tried to come back again. And I can't remember. I know this sounds actually weird, but I think they tried to sign us on a permanent as well. And obviously, I'll be honest, I was open to it. I wasn't playing. But then the club actually played me on the last day of the window, and I ended up staying playing every game after that. So there was the opportunity of coming back, and yeah, I was 100% open to it. Like I say, it was one of the best times I've ever had in footy. But yeah, that's kind of how it panned out. Unfortunately, I didn't come back, but like I say, I've also had my chance here. So yeah, that's just how it played out, to be honest.
It's obviously played out well for you in terms of Watford, but see at the start of that next season, when Aberdeen were guaranteed European group stage football, they were playing in Europe. You'd obviously helped the team get there. Was that a frustration, the fact you weren't playing at Watford and you maybe could have been playing in Europe?
Yeah, no, 100%. I've said this a few times. My journey at Watford's has been difficult. I think, like I say, I'd gone from playing every week at every game at Aberdeen for the time I was there to qualifying for Europe, and I'm looking at the games and seeing the lads playing these huge teams. I think it was to play Pau, they were playing Frankfurt, I think it was, and I was sat there just like on the bed, just watching. Really, it was killing me because obviously, I have no embarrassment in saying it as well. I just love playing footy. I'm not bothered whether it's where or wherever it is. I just want to play footy. Do you know what I mean? And when that had kind of been tough from me, and I'm seeing what we'd kind of achieved, like lads playing, it hurt. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, sometimes in footy, that's just what you've got to do. You got to sit and wait for your turn, I guess. And like I say, yeah, I have. Do you know what I mean? I've waited for my turn here, and I've took it. So, but yeah, at the time, I was definitely frustrated and a little bit jealous of the lads.
And it must have been a little bit frustrating as well, just seeing the team kind of struggled in that season. I think they really found it difficult to play in Europe and then in the league again. And unfortunately for Barry Robson, didn't quite work out after the good start he made at Pittodrie. Yeah,
no, I've seen that. Obviously, I won't lie, I look at every result on a weekend now and still watch it. It was obviously a lot different now starting 11, but I was speaking to Leighton Clarkson just before he left, and like I say, I still try to watch pretty much every game if I'm not playing. But yeah, no, it's obviously not nice to see the club not performing as where I think the club probably should be. But yeah, I think, we all know footy comes quick and fast, let's just hope Aberdeen can get back to where they should be as soon as possible, really. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, it's a massive club and everybody in the building's trying to put them on the right path. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you need a bit of a change, and unfortunately Barry's went. And like I say, that's football at the end of the day. And like I say, I just want to see Aberdeen doing well again.
I know you're obviously long term at Watford and playing there every week, but maybe sometime in the future could the door be open for a return to Pittodrie?
100%. I'll never shut the door on that one. I believe when I had this conversation with Mrs. not long ago, I said she was like, one of my mates has moved on and from here, and we were saying like just a couple of lads getting older here, and we were talking to them, and I said like, honestly, as soon as I can, like I'd come straight back. I have that many good memories there. But I love Watford as well. I've been here 5 years, so if my contract comes out and I don't get a new one, or if I'm not playing, then I'd never say never. Do you know what I mean? It's a club I love, and I'm seeing a photo now. Looking back, it was a great moment, and I'd love to relive it.
And it's been a difficult season for Aberdeen, I'm sure you know, but the lone survivor from your spell in the team now is Graham Chinney. So you must have been delighted to see him lift the Scottish Cup last year.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. That huge for the club, and I was so happy for the club. And yeah, like you say, for Shinny, he's been at the club for years. He's a real leader, a real captain, and I think he's an actual fan of the club. He loves it. I remember being in the gym once, and I put a song on, and I didn't really know there was songs for different clubs type of thing in Scotland, and he gave me the biggest I don't know what to say, but bollocking ever. So he's a real lover of the club, and I learned fast. I'd leave him at the songs, but he's a great guy, and to see him lift the club for the club was really nice. And even seeing young Jack Milne, who I was there with, who was another great lad, seeing him lift it, and there was a few others. I think Jack McKenzie was still there at the time. To seeing all these lads do it who I'd played with, because although we got in the Europa League, we didn't lift anything. Do you know what I mean? So seeing them be able to lift something, it was really nice, and loved every minute of it.
What was the offending song? Can you tell us?
Nah, I can't remember. I actually can't remember. I put something on, and he absolutely hammered me and put Jerry Cinnamon on. So after that, I just thought, that's it. Never put another song on again.
See, looking back just at your time there, what was the highlight or the one standout moment for you?
I would say probably I have two, so it'd probably be the Hearts game when I scored. As like a personal one, but as a club one, it was qualifying for the Europa League and coming third. That was brilliant, just because of where the club had been and how we'd got there, and the feeling was immense.
Yeah, and I think we'll just maybe finish off with a couple of fan questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So Craig Campbell asks, whose idea was it to come back after beating Hearts and sing "Hearts, Hearts, we're falling apart again"?
You know what? We went in the changing room, and obviously it was our last game, so I think I'd got a photo of my mum and dad on the pitch, and then I'd said, right, we'll go back out, and there was still a load of fans there, so Ross was like, come on, let's go see him. So we went over, and Ross had his phone out, so he's videoing, he's like, go on then, sing something. And I was like, all right. So it was, every time we played, it was the first thing that was sung, so I thought, you know what, sack it. So I just sung it, and that was a great memory.
And we've kind of touched on this already, but are there any other sort of other moments that stand out? I know we kind of touched on the goal there, but especially from that night as well on Wednesday, because it was like so much the St Mirren game. There was so much riding on it, wasn't there?
There was, and I tell you, which is a weird one. There was two games that I remember so well. Was Ross County away. I remember like just the fans taking half the stadium, and I remember walking out thinking like, we're away from home, but the fans have pretty much got the stadium, and the atmosphere was class. We'd won. And it was a battle of a game, like it was on Sky and stuff like that. And I remember just coming away thinking like, that was a good game. Do you know what I mean? And then the other one I think was St Johnstone away, just another tricky, horrible game. Pitch was brutal. I remember at the time, and we just ground it out. And at that moment, I thought like, you know what, we are building something here. They're the type of games that you could lose quite easily. Do you know what I mean? So it was just them games really stuck out for us.
We've also just got a few replies. They're not even questions. They just say, can you please come back?
Aye, in time.
Even as a fan, I guess you'd like to, if you get the chance to come up and see a game, that would be something you'd be interested in.
100%. Yeah, no, I've like like I say, I've said that to my missus loads of times. I'd love to come back and watch a game. I try to get up for the cup final, but I'd actually, put this on my missus. She'd actually booked our holiday at the time, so I couldn't. But yeah, no, I 100%. I'll be back for a game. Probably this season, to be honest. So yeah, I'll definitely be back for a game in the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I want to take my son up and show him around and show him where I was. So yeah, I'll 100% be back.
Can I put you in the spot? Who was the best player at Aberdeen you played with, and who was the hardest player to play against in the league?
So best player I played with, I will say. No, it was weird because we were all like so on it. Do you know what I mean? I think people probably expect me to say like a Bojan or a, well, not now. I won't say Bojan now, but like a Bojan or a Duke. But I would say, there's so much quality at the time. Leighton Clarkson was incredible. He used to, you know what I mean? He could pick out a pass from anywhere. But then you look at Ross McCrory as well. Like, I thought Ross was brilliant. I thought defensively he was outstanding. Next minute he's taking on 3 players at the time. Like, so there was so many. But yeah, I'd say Leighton or Ross for me. And then hardest player I played against. It's weird. Probably that's on the spot. That I'm thinking maybe one of the Celtic ones. Probably was it Kyogo was doing well at the time, maybe, or Maeda, is it one of them? Maybe, but yeah. I played Kyogo the other day, to be fair, so it was a bit mad, like seeing him. Yeah, seeing him, we beat him, so I was buzzing, like. But yeah, it was a bit of a blast from the past, like.
And just the last one as well, just from the fans, really. Like, well, that special relationship you'll always have with them, even though you were only there for months. I guess it's testament to the impact you had at Aberdeen. To the fans still clamouring for you to come back now. Yeah, no,
100%. I think the fans, they made it such a special moment for me. Have nothing but good words. When people say to me like, "What do I think of Aberdeen?" I always tell them straight as fans were incredible. And like I say, I would love the opportunity to come back at some point in my career and and just again play for them and show them what I can do. And I'd like to say I've learned a few more things since I was there. So hopefully I can come back and put even better performances in. And the fans were incredible. And like I say, hopefully one day I'll repay what they do.
That's brilliant, Matty. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. I wish you all the best for the season, and hopefully we'll see you in Aberdeen in Scotland sometime soon.
Aye, definitely.
Thanks for the listeners for joining us today, and for all the latest breaking sports news, join us at the Daily Record across all our social media platforms. Thanks for joining us. Until the next time, all the best. Thank you.